Hello and a warm welcome to Nationwide on the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojinta. President Bola Tinubu has departed Abuja for Paris on a state visit in honor of an invitation from President Emmanuel Macron. The president is on the trip alongside First Lady Oluremi. They were seen off by top government functionaries led by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, and Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila. The presidential 001 airplane took off at about 20 minutes past 11 this Wednesday morning. A statement by the Presidential Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, reveals that the Nigerian leader's three-day visit, which will focus on strengthening political, economic and cultural relations and establishing more opportunities for partnership, promises significant benefits for Nigeria. President Tinubu and his wife are expected to be received on Thursday at the French Military Museum by the host President Macron and his spouse for initial ceremonies that will dovetail into bilateral meetings. The two presidents are also to harmonize positions to stimulating more interest in exchange programs that focus on skill development for youths and improving other competencies in automation, entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership. Both leaders will witness a session by the France-Nigeria Business Council, which oversees private sector participation in economic development. Wife of the host president and Nigeria's First Lady are also scheduled to discuss the Renewed Hope initiative and the interest for empowering women, children, and the most vulnerable in Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Jamiu Abiola as the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Linguistics and Foreign Matters. A statement from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation indicates that the appointment takes effect from 14th November 2024. Until his appointment, Jamiu served as the Special Assistant to the President on Special Duties in the Office of the Vice President. President Tinubu tasked the appointee to work closely with the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs and bring his wealth of experience to bear in his new assignment. Vice President Kashim Shettima has expressed satisfaction with the continuous increase in the volume of trade between Nigeria and China, saying it is one of the highest in Africa. He expressed this when he received a delegation from China led by Vice Chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress at the Presidential Villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
The visit by the Chinese delegation is to further strengthen bilateral relations, though both countries have maintained a friendly business ties for years. Vice President Kashim Shettima expressed satisfaction with the volume of trade between Nigeria and China. In 2023, trade relations with China got to $22.6 billion, one of the highest in Africa, and trade relation growing by 33% every year. He expressed his admiration for China's culture and traditions, saying the country is already making its mark among the Committee of Nations, even as he called for greater engagements between the two friendly countries.
And I can assure you that my boss is an independent-minded leader. My boss is committed to enhancing the relationship between Nigeria and China. You have mentioned about security. There can never be peace without development. There can never be development without peace. We really want to reposition the security architecture of our country. We want to invest in technology. We need your support. We need your cooperation. We need your partnership.
Vice Chairman, Standing Committee of the National People's Congress of China, who led the delegation, said the strategic partnership between Nigeria and China is opening a new vista of relationship between the two countries, as China is ready to move the relationship to a new height. In September this year, President Bola Tinubu attended the Forum of China-Africa Cooperation and also had a state visit. President Bola Tinubu and President Xi Jinping jointly announced to elevate Nigeria-China relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership, opening a new chapter.
So it's fair to say my connection and the bond with Nigeria started 20 years ago. So it's a great pleasure to have this opportunity to renew this connection and the bond. And through this visit, I see beautiful landscape and hardworking and hospitable people. I feel close and connected.
He also pointed to the need for Nigeria and China to support each other politically, adding that President Tinubu is committed to economic diversification and China is ready to support Nigeria's development expedition. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
And just after that, the Vice President Kashim Shettima departed Abuja for Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire to attend the opening ceremony of the International Exhibition of Extractive and Energy Resources 2024 conference. The conference, an international event organized by the government of Côte d'Ivoire, focuses on policies and strategy for the sustainable development of the extractive and energy industries. The conference holds from November 27 to December 2nd, 2024 at the Abidjan Exhibition Center. At the invitation of the Côte d'Ivoire's Vice President, Tiemoko Meliet Kone, Vice President Kashim Shettima will utilize the event to share Nigeria's experience in the hydrocarbon exploration and production sectors. The Vice President is expected back in Abuja later today. And to legislative matters, Chairman House Committee on Capital Markets and Institutions, Solomon Bob, has reiterated National Assembly's commitment to boosting the capital base of Nigeria's equities market through the review of the Investments and Securities Act 2007, presently at the National Assembly. The bill is a crucial piece of legislation that aims to regulate investment and securities in Nigeria, providing a framework for the capital market to operate efficiently. This is as the Security and Exchange Commission believes the only place government companies and individuals can raise bulk and long-term funding at lower credit risk is the capital markets.
Get to the House for clause-by-clause consideration in the committee of the whole. After that point, we're done. So the Commission is assured of our support. He knows. And that's a lot we have done in terms of short-circuiting the process to enable us to pass the bill in good time.
We're going to strengthen the regulatory environment very, very critically. We're going to emphasize strongly on education of Nigerians around investment, around Ponzi schemes, around things that they need to know in order for them to save more money. We're also going to be looking at the national savings strategy, how it dovetails into the Nigerian capital market. We're also basically going to ensure that the capital market is actually mainstreamed into the Nigerian economy. We're going to see how agriculture can be helped through the capital market. We're going to see how education can be helped through the capital market. We're going to see how health system can be helped through the capital market. And above all, we're going to see how we help to empower the young ones through the regulation of the digital asset space in order that they will be comfortable in bringing in their best into achieving a very generous economy.
SEC says in short term, the capital market has raised more than 2.7 trillion naira for Nigeria's economic growth, with 1.7 trillion going into bank capitalization. Dr. Agama also revealed that SEC is concluding work on a new capital market master plan that is investment-friendly and considers digital assets, among others. Nigeria is taking significant steps towards energy transition, with a strategic approach being adopted by the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative and its partners. Bosede Abel Amosu reports that the goal is to achieve net zero emissions by 2060.
Industry players here are deliberating on how best to position the economy towards harnessing opportunities for a sustainable economic shift. A key question on everyone's mind is, how prepared is Nigeria towards its energy transition plan come 2060?
And we need to know what will be the impact of energy transition on Nigeria's economy, and how will that affect our revenues from oil? How will that affect jobs? How will that affect livelihoods in this energy transition that is already here?
Recent report by NTA says Nigeria lost 362.28 million barrels of crude oil due to measurement errors, sabotage, and production adjustments between 2014 and 2023. And as the world shifts away from fossil fuel, experts emphasized the need to sustain ongoing economic reforms and measures to stabilize the economy, which they believe is crucial for securing Nigeria's energy and economic future. Part of the deliberations was the launch of the methodological study to measure the long-term impact of energy transition on the economy.
I am committed to fostering transparency, inclusivity, and accountability in this journey of transition.
The only way we can get appropriate data is to rely on primary data, to ask questions and let people respond.
The recent COP29 in Baku highlighted the importance of energy transition, with the International Renewable Energy Agency launching a report on delivery the UAE Consensus, which aims to triple renewable energy capacity and double energy efficiency by 2030. In Abuja, Bosede Eibu Lamosu, NTA News.
The board and management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited have expressed heartfelt appreciation to Nigerians for their support and excitement over the safe and successful restart of the 60,000 barrels per day old Port Harcourt refinery. A statement by Olufemi Shoneye reiterates the laudable achievements and significant step forward after years of operational challenges and underperformance. NNPC Limited says it is, however, aware of unfounded claims by certain individuals suggesting that the refinery is not producing products. The company's spokesperson is emphatic that the old Port Harcourt refinery is currently operating at 70% of its installed capacity, with plans to ramp up to 90%, therefore producing a daily output of straight-run gasoline blended into 1.4 million litres of petrol, kerosene 900,000 litres, diesel 1.5 million litres low-power fuel, 2.1 million litres liquefied petroleum gas, additional volumes. The refinery incorporates crack C5, a blending component from NNPC Limited sister company, Idorama Petrochemicals, formerly known as LMA Petrochemicals, to produce gasoline that meets required specifications. In line with the resolve to provide results, NNPC Limited has made substantial progress on the new Port Harcourt refinery, which will begin operations soon. Olufemi Shoneye says malicious attacks on clear progress only undermines the significant strides made by NNPC Limited and the country, urging Nigerians to remain focused on the remarkable achievements. And with the Port Harcourt refinery loading petroleum products, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria TUC is optimistic prices of petrol and commodities in the market will soon drop. The union, which encourages governments to ensure that other refineries in the country are revitalized, say the development will relieve many Nigerians from the burden of high inflation. Joseph Otsin reports that TUC President Festus Osifu expressed the optimism while briefing newsmen in Abuja.
It is another National Executive Council meeting of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria.
To sit down with the
As usual, the state of affairs in the country dominated discussions, especially as it affects the downtrodden. A sigh of relief greets all in the hall with the news that the old Port Harcourt refinery has commenced operation.
We want government to also revisit or to expedite work in other refineries It will eliminate monopoly. It will bring a system of competition into the downstream sector of the oil and gas industry. Solidarity forever.
The union is also concerned that up to now, state governments have only made pronouncement on minimum wage, but yet to put in place mechanisms for consequential adjustment. On the transition to CNG-powered vehicles, TUC calls for speedy development of needed infrastructure to support affordable conversion and refilling of vehicles. The union also called on government to honor its agreement to pay off wage award arrears till commencement of national minimum wage. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
In a move to enhance oversight mechanism, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has nominated 3 new members to fill existing vacancies on the board of the Code of Conduct Bureau. The announcement was made in a formal letter addressed to the Senate President. The nominees are Alhaji Fatai Bikunle, Kennedy Ikpeme, and Justice Ibrahim Buba. The Code of Conduct Bureau plays a critical role in maintaining integrity within public service and ensuring compliance with the country's ethical standards. The Bureau operates with a 10-member board. Last month, President Tinubu swore in the chairman of the board, Dr. Abdullahi Usman Bello. Current board members include Barrister Murtala Aliyu Kankia, Honorable Agwoma Yima, Barrister Ben Umeano, and Professor Juwaria Badamasi. Others are Mr. Bulus Zephaniah and Honorable Abdusalam Tawfiq Olawole. Now, motorists plying the Calabar-Itu Road and other federal roads in Akwa Ibom State are to experience seamless journeys as government begins major repairs. Clement Barikuyi, who recently visited the Akwa Ibom axis of the Calabar-Itu Road, reports.
From point 0 to point 21 kilometers in Akwa Ibom axis, work on the Calabar-Itu Road has been at a slow pace due to several issues.
Because of the condition of the road, people are no longer going to Calabar as they used to go before.
Many vehicles are falling time without number.
The way they hold up, hang for that road, we can never see. Even bike can never pass for that road.
If they put in the next year budget, the work will go faster than this.
With the Yuletide fast approaching and considering the increase in traffic that is usually experienced this period, efforts are on to make the road motorable.
The Honorable Minister has specifically directed that all sections that are bad, that could hinder free traffic flow, should be given attention and be captured for special repairs.
Even we are now, if we have plan, we maybe just fix the bad portions, but make it as least to make sure this the traffic flow will go easily and quickly first.
Similar exercise is being carried out on Ekparakwa Itinan Ikorobo Road, Ikorekpene Umuaya Road, as well as Ikorekpene Arochuku Road by FEMA. Clement Barikui, NTA News.
And Clement Barikui is standing by to tell us more about the road as commuters prepare for the Yuletide. Now, from your report, Clement, we saw staggered work on the road projects. Some sections are completed while others are left untouched. What's going on? And last week, the National Assembly mandated the Federal Ministry of Budget and National Planning to ensure the road is included in the 2025 budget. Now, how are the people reacting to this good news?
All right. Thank you so much. Well, that same question is what many residents, particularly motorists, have been asking when they pass this Calabar-Itu road. You know, the major problem with this road over the years has been the issue of compensation. Many of the sections of this road have not been paid for, and following the federal government resolutions, compensation is solely paid by the state government. And now, the reason why we are experiencing staggering of the job, some sections have been done, some sections have not been done, is actually the issue of compensation. Now, what has happened of recent is that the contractors have now gone into arrangement with the communities, and the communities along this route are very, 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 very cooperative. So what is happening is that only the section that the communities allow them to work is where work is going on. And that is why we have some sections work has been completed, while some other sections work have not been done at all. So from what we've gathered, the people agreed with the contractors that, okay, these sections should be done pending when compensations are paid. There's been a mixed bag of feeling. Many are happy following that cheering news from the National Assembly that the project should be included in the 2025 budget. But some are not happy, because for them, this project has been on for quite a long time, and they should have seen at least 80% completion on this project, but that has not been the case. So some are saying that, well, it is a normal news, it is a normal thing that they've been hearing over the years, while others are happy that at least there is hope and there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Thank you very much. Indeed, Clement, there is light at the end of the tunnel. You're watching Nationwide, and our first stop is our Lagos Network Center for more reports from that axis.
Very much, Ifoma. A national policy on sustainable maritime economy resource development is pivotal to speed up actualization of endless potential that the sector can offer the nation. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Boyega Oyetola, at the validation of the draft national policy for the environment, says the document will serve as a catalyst to fully harness the nation's vast maritime resources. Joak Bukbola has the report.
The creation of the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy is part of the objectives of the present administration to diversify the nation's economy, as blue economy globally contributes largely to the GDP of nations through the revenue the sector rakes in trillions of dollars annually. Stakeholders in the maritime sector, including the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Boyega Oyetola, at a technical validation workshop, are galvanizing ideas to develop a comprehensive national policy on marine and blue economy, which the minister says will be all-encompassing, targeting job creation, sustainable use of ocean resources, maritime security, and compliance to international safety standards.
The outcomes from these stakeholder engagements will be used to update the draft policy, and at the end of this process, we expect to deliver a national policy document that clearly sets out the roadmap to developing our blue economy, creating jobs, promoting private sector investment, and delivering inclusive prosperity.
The policy draft, which was subjected to validation, will serve as a viable roadmap which will be implemented holistically.
This validation workshop is a milestone in our efforts to elevate Nigeria's marine and blue economy. It is a product of diligent and inclusive policy-making process.
With all the agencies in the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy and other stakeholders in the sector on the same page, industry players are open for a quick transition from policy to feasible results. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
And talking out of school children. As Nigeria races against time to meet the target of Sustainable Development Goal 4, improving access to inclusive quality education for all children in Nigeria by addressing challenges of out-of-school children, is the approach the federal government is taking to give such children equal opportunities of learning. Hengino John Adams reports that with this approach, the story of many out-of-school children will change.
The Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 4, recognizes quality, accessible, equitable, and inclusive education as a fundamental human right. With just few years to the end of the SDG's target, Nigeria is still grappling with staggering statistics of out-of-school children. This, the Minister of State for Education says, is unacceptable, and the government is mapping out strategies towards reducing the disturbing figure.
There are a lot of things on the ground to ensure that we have that inclusive quality education. Issues around the teachers, issues around out-of-school children, issues around qualitative education, girls' education. It's a holistic package. If fully implemented, I'm sure every Nigerian will be happy with the current administration.
The Safe School program and other reforms to improve the quality of basic education in Nigeria, stakeholders believe will help to scale down the number of out-of-school children.
Every morning from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, we have live online classes to fill the gap of lack of teachers in some subjects.
UBEC initiated another alternative for teacher internship scheme, which will also deploy these teachers to all the states in the Federation.
As government engages key players in finding a permanent solution to the problem of out-of-school children, it is expected that appreciable results would be seen in no distant time. In Lagos, Hinginu, John Adams, NTA News.
And those are stories from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in Enugu with.
Welcome to Enugu Network Center. Enugu State Government has launched the Nigeria Solar for Health project, an initiative by the European Union to provide reliable and uninterrupted electricity supply in the healthcare sector. Chika Ubu reports that the steering committee has been inaugurated to ensure sustainability.
The project, initiated by the EU, is aimed at improving clean, secure, reliable, and sustainable access to affordable electricity in the health sector. It will be implemented in 5 states in the country, certified to meet necessary demands like having counterpart funding. Enugu State is taking the lead with the launching of the project. All capital expenditure is covered by the EU, with over 3.3 billion naira to be invested in each state. Bearing in mind the numerous benefits of the initiative, with the ongoing construction of 260 Type 2 primary healthcare centers across the state, the state government has decided to also invest 1 billion naira in addition to the grants.
The deployment of solar energy solutions in our healthcare facilities means that critical healthcare services will no longer be disrupted due to power outages.
To ensure that these pillars of development are provided within the administrative units that are the wards is the surest way to push development into the hands of the people.
A minimum of 25 health facilities and over 75 SMEs within the communities will benefit from the project.
The project, as you know, is funded by the European Union and has an overall objective of providing 24/7 access to clean, efficient, and reliable electricity.
The private sector investors say modalities have been put in place to ensure sustainability of the projects. In Enugu, Chika Ubu, NTA News.
In line with the state government's vision of providing basic amenities that have direct bearing on its citizens, Ebonyi State Government has commenced reactivation of water schemes abandoned by successive administrations to ease the burden of accessing clean and adequate water supply. Caleb Obonna has an update on the multi-million Oferepe mega water scheme in Ikwo local government area of the state.
Successive governments in Ebonyi State embarked on several water scheme projects geared towards providing water for every home, yet couldn't deliver and subsequently abandoned. One of such schemes is the multi-million naira Oferepe mega water scheme in Ikwo local government area, abandoned 7 years ago. Determined to change the narrative, Governor Francis Nwifuru, on inception of office, commenced reactivation and expended over 200 million naira on remedial work to reactivate the water scheme.
As we are here,
the old urban water scheme is being given attention. When once all these things are set on ground, Abuja has to have an uninterrupted water supply, clean water supply.
With the scheme running on 100,000 cubic meters per day, citizens were assured of reticulation of clean and adequate water supply.
This plant is designed for 100,000 cubic meters per day, but now we are running at half of our capacity, 50,000 cubic meters per day. Our pump is pumping 700 cubic meters per hour.
Water is life. When water problem is solved, life starts from there. We relieved from huge financial outlay used to procure water.
With the reactivation of Oferekpe water scheme and others across the state, citizens will no doubt heave a sign of relief, as one of their needs, which is in tandem with the campaign promises of Governor Francis Nwifuru, has been met. In Abakaliki, Caleb Obonna, NTA News.
That's our contribution from here. Over now to Ifoma in Abuja studio for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Chika. And now to security matters. The Nigerian Army is adopting advanced simulation technology for the training of its officers and soldiers to combat contemporary security challenges. The Acting Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, said this during exercise Ijo Erimi at the Land Force Simulation Center, Abuja.
These are personnel from the 9th Brigade. They are here at the Nigerian Army Land Forces Simulation Center, Giri, Abuja, for a military exercise nicknamed Ijo Erimi. The exercise is aimed at developing the participants' capacity to combat emerging threats using simulation.
One of the objectives of the simulation exercise is to enhance quick decision-making during conduct of operations to mitigate contemporary challenges.
Today, armies reduce costs in the field by resorting to simulation training. Apart from reducing the monies that we spend in the field, it also reduces ammunition and conserves the ammunition for real-life operation.
The simulation exercise is also a cost-effective and enhanced means of training towards addressing the dynamic nature of emerging security threats.
The Nigerian Mining Cadastre Office, in its commitment to online service delivery and curbing cyber crimes, is collaborating with the Department of State Services to train personnel on cyber crime security. The Director General Cadastre Office, Obadiah Simon Ikom, notes that Mining Cadastre Office is web-based since after the launch of the Electronic Mining Cadastre Plus system, and it is expected that every user gets in-depth knowledge on ICT to promote the efficiency and transparency in processing application for mineral titles and boost investment in the mineral sector. Participants were trained on protection against cyber threats such as malware, phishing identity threats, and the importance of securing official documents. Now, following a report from the Office of the Special Assistant to the President and subsequent extensive intelligence gathering, operatives of the IGP Special Investigation Unit have apprehended 4 suspects for alleged criminal conspiracy, forgery of official documents, job racketeering, impersonation, and obtaining money under false pretense. Parading the suspects in Abuja, First Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi says the suspects belong to a syndicate involved in forging classified documents emanating from government agencies and organizations in the bid to deceive unsuspecting victims and extort money from them under the guise of securing jobs for them at the prestigious Nigeria Police Academy, Wudil, and other agencies of the federal government.
A discreet investigation was conducted, which led to the apprehension of Kuselfa Tafida and Zachary Abdullahi. Further investigation led to the arrest of further suspects, and upon interrogation, the suspect confessed to their roles in the crime they committed. They admitted to forging documents from several government offices and individuals to defraud unsuspecting victims, promising them enlistment and jobs at various government agencies.
Operatives of the Nigeria Police Force attached to GBR Divisional Police Headquarters, Katsina, intercepted a group of suspected armed bandits along the Magama-GBR road, where they had accosted and attacked 2 commercial vehicles in an attempt to kidnap the occupants. Now, in recent times, Kano State Commander of the Nigeria Police Force witnessed series of logistic interventions to ensure the protection of lives and property and enhance law enforcement tactics. Kano State government opened their assistance with a donation of 78 operational vehicles to the police command, and the Deputy President of the Senate, Barau Jibril, complemented with the presentation of 1,000 motorcycles. Elizabeth Yila Lamido reports.
Barely 3 weeks ago, Kano State government donated 78 operational vehicles to divisional police officers across the state.
The Kano State government is very much conscious of your contributions towards the full implementation of all the security policies as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Let us all come together to help our gallant men and women in the Nigerian police force. The provision of the police motorcycles to provide more than just the health of transportation, it represents a tangible investment in the capabilities and morale of our district police officers.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Trust Fund is intensifying efforts to improve police operations and infrastructure. During a recent visit to the command, the Trust Fund organized a 5-day training program focusing on critical areas. In Kano, Elizabeth Wheeler, NTA News.
And Elizabeth is standing by to give us an update on the gesture. And so what additional information do you have in respect to this assistance to the police in Kano, and what assurance is the police giving towards judicious utilization of the donations? Elizabeth.
Thank you, Ifoma. As you can see, one of the major issues or challenges the police is facing is that of vehicles and motorcycles that can reach remote areas, and that has become a thing of the past. As with the 78 vehicles that were given and the motorcycles, it will help them to reach areas that ordinarily wouldn't have been easy for them to have access to. And it is, as you can see behind me, the motorcycles that were given are being taken to the various area commands and police divisions today, with each division heads here present to take the one that is allotted to them. And of course, Zone 1 of the police was also allotted a certain number of the motorcycles. What is left and what we'll look forward to is how these vehicles and motorcycles that were given will be maintained, because it's one thing to procure them and it's another to get maintenance. Back to you, Ifoma.
Indeed, Elizabeth, for that update. And it's now time to go over to our Sokoto Network Center for more on Nationwide.
Former, good evening and welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. As part of efforts to check youth restiveness, Sokoto State Government has graduated 500 youths trained in different trades to become self-reliant and contribute their quota towards the development of the state and country. The scheme is in line with Governor Ahmed Aliu's 9-point agenda. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa completes the report.
The 500 youths comprising men and women underwent weeks intensive training in various trades. The skills acquisition training is part of the initiative organized periodically by the Department of Community Development under the Ministry for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs to empower the people for self-reliance. Governor Ahmed Ali described youths as the bedrock of societal development, maintaining that the initiative is in line with the administration's desire to create an atmosphere that guarantees economic development. He calls on the beneficiaries to make judicious use of the skills acquired, tools and cash assistance, and pledges sustenance of the program. The governor hinted that in the administration's quest to accommodate all categories of people, plans are underway to unveil similar initiatives specifically targeting people with special needs.
They need to be made productive and educated so that they can contribute their quota in giving society a better future.
Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs Ibrahim Dedi Adri expresses gratitude to Governor Aliyu for the sustained support to the ministry, noting that the trained youth will become useful to the society, thereby reducing youth redundancy and vulnerability to crimes.
When they are trained, they will certainly go back to their communities and train others.
Each of the youths trained on tailoring, vulcanizing, soap making, hairdressing, and knitting, among others, receive tools and cash assistance from the government. A cross-section of the trainees expressed their appreciation and pledged to utilize the starter packs and capital to become self-employed and employers of labor. High point of the event was the demonstration of skills acquired by the youth during their training. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nawaba, NTA News.
More than 300,000 children between 0 to 5 years have so far been captured in the ongoing digital birth registration in Sokoto State. This was disclosed by the State Director, National Population Commission, Malami Mafaragagi in Sokoto. Sadia Omardigi reports.
Organized by the National Orientation Agency in collaboration with National Population Commission and NIMC to highlight some of the achievements recorded on the ongoing digital birth registration in Sokoto State. Stakeholders who underscore importance of the exercise appreciate efforts made in achieving the 3,000 eligible children, which is higher than the projected 238,000 across the state. This is to assist the government in planning and provision of infrastructure and amenities to the populace.
We use house to house. We go door to door, knock to the house, talk to the people. We tell them the importance of digital birth registration. And luckily of us, they listen to our call and they bring all the people for registration. The children were all out.
It's about registration, I believe, is timely, considering the world is dynamic, it moves with changes, and engaging of stakeholders during this press briefing is also, I believe, very well done job.
Sokoto State government says it will continue to render its support in view of significance of the exercise to national planning and development. There were goodwill messages by the representatives of Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs Ibrahim Dadi Adari, Sultan of Sokoto Muhammad Saad Abubakar, and UNICEF, among other stakeholders. The digital birth registration exercise is ongoing at designated centers across the state. In Sokoto, Sadia Omardigi, NTA News.
And thus our package from Sokoto is back to Ifoma in Abuja for the continuation of the news.
Nigeria, ready to breathe cleaner air and save.
Live on Sporty TV. SportyBet sponsors coverage of the Italian Serie A.
You're still watching Nationwide on the NTA, and welcome to Ibadan. In a bid to reduce the spate of sexual and gender-based violence, the Oyo State government has organized a sensitization campaign to help tackle this issue. The campaign, held at the St. Bernardine's Girls' Grammar School, Oyo, was at the instance of the wife of Oyo State Governor, Tamuno Minini Makinde. Blessing Orji's report is here presented.
The wife of the governor, in collaboration with other stakeholders, enlightened the students on risks of sexual and gender-based violence, which has become one of the complex and prevalent problems in the country that requires zero tolerance and the attention of all.
If anyone wants to touch you, whether they are a person in authority, a powerful person in the society, a relative such as uncle, uncle, auntie, or a neighbor, even a trusted figure, report immediately.
Physical abuse. It was to put knife on the fire, and he used the knife to hurt the back, the cheeks, and every part of the child. If you tell your mother, I will beat you, or if you tell your mother, you will die. That was not somebody was saying about the river.
Selected school principals and students expressed their appreciation and thoughts on the importance and need of this sensitization program.
That we have girls being violated, even women, even men and boys these days. So I think it's a good idea that the government side is raising this.
And when it happens, you have to call your guardians or people you live with, the person you can trust.
The campaign against sexual and gender-based violence highlighted the importance of creating awareness on the menace and recommending possible ways for students and other individuals to work together to prevent and fight against sexual and gender-based violence.
The National Council for Child Rights Advocates of Nigeria, NACRAN, in its commitment to boosting the fight against child trafficking, is seeking repatriation of over 20,000 Nigerian girls used as sex workers stranded in Mali. Southwest Coordinator NACRAN Samson Adefioye stated these while on a visit to NTA Bado Network Center. Kehinde Omolosho has the report.
14-year-old Light from Anambra State was lured to Mali with a promise of getting a job as a house help. While she refused to be used as a sex worker, her teeth was removed and hot water poured on her body. Like Light, Sheifumi from Ondo State was also taken to Mali primarily for prostitution and sexual slavery.
I came here yesterday too. She said I should meet them also, or she will pour me fire. That's why I said I ran away from my house. That if it no work again, that they will beat us, they will kill me. Me and I cannot die.
These girls, like many others, live in a shack made of black canvas, wood, and corrugated iron. The victims, according to the Southwest Coordinator of NACRAN, would have been returned home, but due to some challenges.
It's a Nigerian consular general to Mali. The man just still refused that he won't allow us to work. Okay, why? Because he feels threatened, but that will expose a lot of things about him.
Every night, 7:38, they will bring them out. And if you inform embassy that you want to go and make an arrest, the embassy will want you to do it, but the workers in the embassy, they are in connection with those madams. Before you get there, they inform them.
The appeal is for intervention from relevant agencies to rescue these girls.
We have recovered lots of girls for this man, but he will not take them back home. He will just put them in at the embassy, around embassy, for 2, 3, 4 months.
There is a representative in Mali to speak to him or even mandate him to facilitate the plight of these children so that they can be collected, interviewed, and repatriated to Nigeria, because that is where they belong.
The appeal is for stakeholders to galvanize support towards addressing the menace of human trafficking and contribute to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. It's back to Ifoma in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Many thanks, Kemi. Now, Joint Operation Review in Northeast Nigeria highlights World Health Organization's impactful interventions, including healthcare delivery, disease surveillance, and vaccination campaigns, benefiting millions of people in the region. Key priorities include addressing healthcare challenges in conflict-affected areas, enhancing emergency response, and fostering collaboration to build a resilient healthcare system for vulnerable populations. The review is expected to help identity lapses and areas in need of new approaches and strategies for policy effectiveness. And on that note, we conclude Nationwide for today. Thank you for watching. I am Ifoma Ojinta. Bye for now.